Good to see you again. And again, I just want to reiterate a couple things we talked about at your meeting with the Congressional Black Caucus. I serve as chair, as you know, and one of the areas that we're extremely concerned about is dropout rates in minority communities, especially with young African American and Latino boys. 30%, the statistics are African American men have a 30% chance of serving in prison before the age of 30, but among young African American men who drop out of high school, it jumps to 60%. And so it's just outrageous. It's astounding, and I need to look at your budget and just look at how you're really beginning to address this dropout rate, especially among minority groups. And finally, let me just say I'm very pleased to see that you acknowledge that education is the civil rights issue of our time, and that it's a truly effective weapon in our nation's long war on poverty, because you're absolutely correct. And to have that perspective coming from your department, I think, is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And just quickly, we talked about, I think there's nothing more important we can do as a country than dramatically reduce that dropout rate. And the economic cost of the country and the personal loss is tremendous. We can identify 2,000 high schools around the country that produce half of our nation's dropouts and 75% of our minority students' dropouts. And so what we want to do is not tinker around the edges, not just incremental change. We want to, and this is tough, tough work, but I think we have to do it. We have to gauge these tough issues in a real and honest way. We need to fundamentally turn around over time, not overnight, but over time, those schools and those feeder middle schools and elementary schools. But we can identify the problem, and this has been going on for far too long, and these children do not have a chance of being successful at these kinds of dropouts.
But Mr. Secretary, I hope, and could you follow up with us, or in writing perhaps to the committee, how in your budget, what's the strategy? Because I don't see this targeted in your budget.
$5 billion in school improvement money, Title I, unprecedented dollars going in to help the neediest of schools.
I'm going to have to